I'd like to point out about this Doppler situation. I just woke up, so my hair is ratchet. I was told through sonogram, you're 9 weeks. And then I went in to see the doctor, like right after they did the ultrasound, and he said, we're going to use this Doppler, but it might not work. It only works on people who are 11 or past. And sure enough, he found the heartbeat very quickly. And he's like, okay. And then he ran a 16-week blood test. He said, this won't work unless you're 16 weeks. And then it worked. So I'm sorry, did I just 20 minutes ago get an ultrasound that say that I'm 9 weeks and then 20 minutes later find out I'm at least 16 weeks? Or that they said, yeah, that's 9 weeks, but then I got a bill in the mail for a 14-week pregnancy ultrasound? Or that when I went in a month later, there was even a point in which I was told I'm 9 weeks, and I went in a month later, and she was like, you're still 9 weeks. And I'm like, are you not counting from the last time? Because I'd be this far along. Like, you're not adding the weeks that has passed since the last time you saw me. And there's just been a lot of inconsistency with what they're telling me, and everything they tell me does not align with my actual personal experience. And I'll be like, I could feel my baby kicking though, so I think I'm further along than that. And they'll be like, no, you can't feel that kicking. And I'm like, but I can. I am. I have been. Like, what do you mean? You're literally like, I am still experiencing medical gaslighting. Still. Because my stomach didn't look like it, they gave me a transvaginal ultrasound instead of doing a second trimester ultrasound, which would have been over the belly. She said, oh, I thought we were doing a second trimester ultrasound. Let me do a transvaginal one. And she did it very quickly, got a heartbeat, and that was it. I have not seen an image of my baby yet. I've not had a printout. They tilt the screen away from me, and then later I get a bill in the mail saying way further along than they had actually said. When I scheduled an appointment for my 20-week scan, and then I went to check on, see if that appointment was still happening, because I've had them cancel on me without telling me, they're like, oh, well, you're only 18 weeks, so we can't do the 20-week scan. And I'm like, but I had it scheduled, and I'm technically 22 weeks, not 18 weeks. The last time when I scheduled this appointment, she said on the computer, it says I'm going to be 20 weeks when this appointment arrives. Come the day of, something in the computer's changed. I said, oh, but you're only 18 weeks. And we can't schedule the ultrasound for another month. So you'll have it at 30 weeks. And we know that the best accuracy you're gonna get when you see all the limbs, the head and everything is at 20 weeks, that those imaging start to get blurrier when you get past 20 weeks. So if you wanna get that 3D ultrasound, you don't wanna get it too far along because it won't be the imaging that you prefer. So why do they keep telling me something different? And it's 222 on my timestamp. Or the fact that they have focused more on the dermoid cyst and they take more imaging of the dermoid cyst and barely focus on the live baby that is in me. So I'm confused. Or the fact that the dermoid cyst could have been the ectopic pregnancy I was speaking about last year, just sitting there waiting, just a malformed fetus that couldn't grow right, that I was like in a lot of pain. That's awesome, right? Confident enough to know exactly where your baby is without actually seeing it on the imaging. It's so bonkers to me that there's women who get the reassurance from seeing the ultrasound, and that is circumstantial at that moment. And the fact is if you want to know if your baby is engaged in the pelvic, down low, ready to be birthed out the canal, it's simple. You feel. External palpitations have been used way before sonograms were used to find where baby is. And I've always known where my baby is. I can tell where their rump is, where their head is, are they stretched out or curled in? I know this. I know that when I go in for an ultrasound, my baby curls up into my ribs and it is hard for me to breathe because my baby is hiding from the harmful ultrasound waves. That it's possible, and they said 9 weeks, it's just that they saw a placenta and they were like, I don't know, the imaging is blurry and we're just gonna say this. And then I find out on my second trimester and I'm like, and now I'm near into my third. Thinking about this, like, I've missed half my pregnancy. It was just a couple months ago that I got a confirmation. and my partner can feel my baby kicking when he holds my stomach. This feeling of I needed to be reassured about what my body's doing through technology instead of being body intuitive and knowing what your body is doing requires having a relationship with your body, requires body intuitiveness, which if you're looking for that kind of skill set within yourself, that means a big tool I've used is meditation, is body scanning, sensations, learning the sensations. Part of my autism is not understanding where my pain is coming from or not recognizing pain right away. Same with feelings, not understanding my feelings, and being able to determine what exactly I feel, like emotionally. That stands also as sensations in my body. A prime example of how this presents in autism and ADHD, etc., is or sensory processing disorder even, is not noticing when you have to go to the bathroom and having accidents. I don't have accidents as such, but I do ignore the signals in my body, or I used to, until I had to teach myself to notice the signals in my body. And one of those things is noticing, what is my baby doing today? My baby, I wake up and my baby is very engaged in my pelvis. I know that my baby is head down. When I wake up, he's very engaged into the birth canal. And then I can feel when baby flips. Okay, my baby flips every other day, and it makes me very nauseous all of a sudden. It's this huge movement and liquid floating around. And to go in and say, well, I just want to make sure baby is head down, you don't need an ultrasound for that. You just need someone who's skilled with palpitations, who can feel the stomach and know where things are based off of what they feel. That my midwife was able to keep track of how big my daughter was and if I was growing correctly by just measuring my stomach. And the fact is that when I am scared, when I have anxiety, anxiousness, my PTSD, my stomach muscles will contract and pull my baby in closer to my core and kind of hiding the bump. So I don't even know if that is an accurate method if my stomach's really flat at the time. But when my stomach is out and round and my baby is protruding, not hiding, it's very obvious. You can tell exactly where everything is. The last midwife I saw, she was able to say, oh, your placenta is here, oh, baby's here. And I knew she was right because that's what I could feel from the inside. She mushed her hands around and she said, boom, boom, boom. I said, yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's the fact is that me and that midwife, we determined where my baby was based off of having the relationship that we had in that moment, the care that was given, not a machine telling someone it's this way. It was, what are you feeling? Here, oh, I got the heartbeat. You're right. It's believing in the woman that she knows what her body is doing.
To point out that when I go to see my OB, my belly never has looked as big as it does at home. Okay, I go in, I am not popped at the doctor's office. Okay, this is why they refuse to believe I'm as far along as I am, because after being medically gaslit for so long, I can't help it. Something about my body just decides to hide it, and I will in the office. And I don't get it, because doing it on purpose right now, I can't. I'm out of breath just from doing that. But when I'm in office, I'm not intentionally sucking it in. It just hides. I've actually intentionally sucked in my stomach for so long because it was bloated just like this due to the tumor found. And now I don't know, my body just feels scared around certain people and my belly disappears. That's PTSD, that's stealth pregnancy, that's everything I've been speaking on. Real, true, accurate experience. Not made up, not in my head. It's happening. It's happened. So yeah, I'm a whale at this point, but people wouldn't see that because when I even leave the house, my belly disappears.